Hey, AfterBuzz TV fans, tune in now for the How to Get Away with Murder after show. We're talking about everything we did was for nothing.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, let's begin. We're another week in with How to Get Away with Murder, and we picked up a new crew member.
Hey! Hello! Thank you guys for having me.
Totally. Thank you for joining the team. Where can people find you?
I'm Nadine Dellapella. You can find me everywhere at Nadine DP and the number 3.
Awesome.
Don't forget the 3.
Oh, yeah.
Good number.
Hey, y'all, I'm Ava Wissenhant. You can find me everywhere at Ava Wissenhant.
And of course, you can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
Awesome. And I'm JD. You guys can follow me everywhere at Hey John Blake. Let's talk about this episode.
Man, oh
Don't
man, oh
sugarcoat
man.
it. Tell us how you
No?
really feel.
That's my feelings about
Totally.
it.
It was very much a build-up episode for me, at least. I mean,
Yeah.
because the preview for the next week looked insane. I mean, we got a kind of a teaser with Laurel's mom calling out of the blue to Dominic's phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Did it look insane for next week, or was it just like such a build-up of a teaser? I think the editing
Maybe,
looked really
yeah,
well.
maybe
Like,
just
what's
that
the
trailer
final thing
was
gonna like?
killer.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
it looks
know.
like
What's
we're
the
back in
verdict gonna
courtroom.
be?
For
Yeah.
once, it's
Yeah.
been like...
I'm just annoyed, I think, obviously, way skipping ahead to the end, but I'm annoyed that they're even really introducing Laurel's mom. I don't want it to become like the Laurel
The
show.
Castillo show,
Yeah, and that seems like what it's becoming a little bit, but I'm like, what's the point? Obviously, her mom is going to be there to testify and whatever, so that's a good help, and it's a plot twist, whatever. But it's just kind of like, what about all of the other important people? It's just kind of every bit of it is
And we
about
still
that
have
right now.
so many storylines that we still need answered. Like, and then
Yeah.
you about to bring. We just found out about Laura's mom being a kind of cuckoo. You know what I mean? Like, granted, we had little pieces of it before,
Right.
but now it's like, oh goodness, and she's here.
Yeah, I think she's probably just going to be introduced just for this episode, though. I think
Right.
once the verdict comes out of what happens, I don't think she's going to, like, stay. And if the verdict is yes, Laurel has the baby, keeps the baby, like, she's going to stay and raise the child. So I think
Right.
it's just for this.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I feel like, I mean, given who her dad is, like, if the mom is obviously on the same page, I feel like it'd be hard for her to add, like, a different dynamic than we've seen with him. Like, she's probably just, like, more of a, kind of a 1-2, like, they're...
More cuckoo.
Yeah, exactly. Just more of the same
Yeah.
to kind of shut Laurel down and keep her
Yeah.
from screwing things up. That being said, it sounds like the entire us going public was a massive success. He, like, rang the bell.
But it's so true. Just like she said, everything that they did is for nothing. Like, nothing has happened. We have obviously no idea who has the hard drive, even though part of me tonight was kind of like, Nate, do you have it? Only because,
Ooh.
I mean, there would be no reason for him to have it other than just trying to protect everyone, because that's what he does, little knight in shining armor.
That's
When he's not
interesting.
boxing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw your
Yeah.
eyes at that boxing scene.
Ooh, I could not look away. That was nice.
That was not real,
yeah.
though. That was his body. That was him.
I
Yes.
was looking at the
That was
screen.
him.
Like,
That was him. That
I
was
felt
just
like a
too
little
much
kid.
chisel.
Let the record show that JB brought it up this time.
He did.
This time it was not
I did
April
not.
nor I.
I kept the specifics out. You guys definitely took it.
Did you
You
see
threw the
that?
bait.
How
You
could
had
you
dangled the
not?
bait. You said
I
boxing.
should have known better.
Also, we saw
Massive
him. We
mistake.
saw him smile tonight, which was beautiful.
I wasn't a fan of that though. I like his mug. I like when he has a straight face, and he smiled at Bonnie like I'm the good guy.
But we could see his little dimple pop out. I liked it.
I love that you're like less smile, more body.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes!
Less head, more body.
That's where
Yeah.
I am.
Or when he
Alright.
has that like sexy smoldering, like
Price, what are you
Look.
talking? Price says Nate needs to get some hair. What's wrong with him?
he
Get some hair?
So very few people can pull off the real bald look. He definitely.
Is he
pulled it
actually
off.
bald?
Oh, I don't know, but he's bald.
I don't think I've ever seen his face. Wait,
His face.
yeah, I think I'm distracted every time.
That's what I said.
What
Let's
does he
say.
look like? That's funny.
So you
But
didn't know it was him when he smiled.
I think it's possible that he could have the hard drive only because whenever Bonnie went to him or whoever it was
Right.
that went to him, how did he even like know that that's what it was about initially?
Yeah.
But why would he be hiding the fact that he does? Because he's so upfront about being back on Team Annalise.
Because he doesn't. He knows that it's the key to them essentially like all getting hurt in
Right.
a way. And just the fact that he was so defensive about it. I mean, he's my best guess anyway as of right now. Because obviously we know the kids don't. We know, you know, who was there. It has to be like police, Annalise, or Laurel.
Yeah.
And clearly she doesn't have it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, he did have access. He would have been someone that had access to going through there to
Right.
find that. And the fact that he is so, like, throwing himself into everything that's happening. He even went over to the apartment to talk to the boys. We haven't seen him that hands-on in a while. So I
Right.
think he's doing stuff for a reason, which we'll find out in a couple episodes.
That's a good point. Why is
Yeah.
he being so hands-on?
Very
why
much
is he
so.
all of a sudden
Because
helping them?
Annalise won him over with the class action suit, and remember, he went to her at the tail of the first half of the season, saying that I'll help you, I got something for you, and blah blah blah. So now they're kind of supposed to be playing with each other as long as she stay out of trouble, which is the only reason I believe the fact that he have the drive may be true, but not for a selfish reason. Well, more for selfish reasons than anything else. Like just so that we
She'll
can get
make
into
Right.
Or-
but back to the class action suit that you just
Yeah.
mentioned. I guess it's his dad is a part of it.
I think
Yeah.
that's his dad. I mean, it wasn't confirmed, but they have
Right.
the same name, so maybe
Nate
Nate.
Leahy.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
So maybe that's the whole reason he has the drive or something, so that
Right.
at the end of all of this, it helps his dad get out of prison. So maybe he's just doing all of this to have leverage in some sense later on.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
How sad was that, though? His dad's been in solitary confinement for 10 years or something like that, they said.
Right. Well, he did seem like pretty concerned about the case in general. Like when he was talking to Asher, you know, like he was kind of pissed off that Connor was running point on this, given that he just dropped out of school.
Probably
Yeah.
because he knows it's going to be a really tough thing.
Right.
Like, you don't just put someone in solitary confinement for no reason. Now, obviously, I'm guessing it's going to come out that he's been held there for the wrong reasons, but I think he knows it's probably going to be really difficult because he must have done something really bad and obviously
Right.
did bad things in prison as well. But I definitely didn't think it was going to be his dad. I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be like a friend or something like that.
Yeah.
But then we've never heard anything about his family, so minus his wife or his ex-wife. But I don't know. I'm more like, I like digging into his past as well. Because he's always been that secondary character that's there to help everyone. But, like, it's time that he gets some help.
Am I the only one that literally did not really? Because you know they were reading off the potential face of
Candidate, yeah.
So when they were reading about Nate, the senior,
Yeah.
I wasn't really listening. Like he's been in solitary confinement and blah blah. I wasn't really
That's all I
listening
heard,
until
too.
Asher was like, "Look at his name," and then I think you were like, "It's Nate's person," and then it turned out to be literally Nate.
Right.
Yeah.
I was, well, but
So he didn't have his shirt off. That's why you weren't paying
Yeah.
attention. Let's be real.
That's true. You got me.
Oh, Prize Elena is always looking beautiful. Where you been? Look at this hair, too. She has got it going on tonight. Sorry. I'm trying to hook you up.
I don't like
Anyway.
attention. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, I'm happy that we're seeing more of him getting his background, but I guess it is kind of weird because he thought, or for so long he's been off the Annalise train, but he's always been down to help the kids when he knows that they need help. And
Yeah.
so I guess that's kind of what got him back in is Asher needing help. Mm-hmm. And he's always had a little bit of a soft spot for Asher too, even though Asher cold-blood killed somebody, but he doesn't know
Right.
that.
Asher's like everyone's fave, low key.
Yeah.
She's
well,
ridiculous.
He's just such a like nice guy, and I feel like he kind of got like pushed into this scenario where like everybody's kind of a shark, and he's just like
Nemo.
chilling.
But the writing that they do for him, it's
He's
just
like
so
a
on
guppy
point.
that's just like hanging on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every time that he does have a line, it's funny.
Totally.
He's the comedy
He
relief
is
and all
the
this
comedic
crazy
relief.
madness of animals.
Whenever
Yeah.
what was the line where he said,
Oh, he was talking to Laurel, and he said, "End up like a cuckoo, like your mom, or something."
yeah, that was not good.
And you laughed. Oh my
laughed because it was funny.
No, it was
and
the
then I was
kidnap.
like,
He said the
God!
kidnap.
Oh yeah, he
there.
said you end up kidnapped.
But
like
there
your-
was something
like,
else.
oh, what
Yeah.
was it? Or do you have any ideas? Or does it remind you of when your dad kidnapped you?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I laughed.
just-
I thought that was funny.
All of
but I
Too
was
you
soon,
laughed.
bro.
Ridiculous.
Too soon.
JB, you were like dying. You
Yeah.
hackled.
Well, I know.
You hackled.
I love Asher, and even in this episode, he kind of had his like moment in the sun. Like he got to talk Oliver down from the ledge. Like
Yeah.
he just like went off the reservation, like freaking out about Simon. And again, of all people, Asher like talking some sense and like
Yeah.
getting him through that stage.
I like that he got that, and then he said to Connor, like, "Please let me be the
Right,
hero
for
for
once, yeah.
because he really is like he's the. I literally can't think of any other word right now minus buffoon of the group.
Right.
He's a
He's
smart
100%,
person, like
100%.
but he's all just like we said, he's a jokester. He's always kind of made a joke of as
Yeah.
well. So that was a good moment for them, and honestly, the way that he how he talked him down was when he's like, bury yourself in this.
Yeah.
I know it sounds awful and it's
Yeah.
selfish and whatever, but like you really do have to move on at some point. But just to describe it as like that's the only thing that kept me from hanging myself like my dad did.
Yeah,
That was
I
I'm
totally
sorry.
forgot that like how much Asher alone has been through. Like
Same.
obviously
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, like his dad thing, but also his murder situation was just him. Like he acted alone, and he like wasn't really part of the whole group thing. And I think that was much more visceral, at least, because he
Yeah.
like made the decision to like cold blood, like.
Which
run
is
someone
why
over.
it was such a relief to see him have that moment with
Right.
Yeah.
Oliver. I don't, y'all know how I feel about Oliver. Today, I wanted to switch him with Bonnie. Like, I was feeling Bonnie's outfits today.
That blue power suit.
That blue
That
power
was
suit was
good.
popping. I could keep her to this episode. And Oliver, anyway, not to take the shot
Yeah,
off of
Oliver's
Asher.
out now.
He's like completely lost it. But for Asher to have that moment with Oliver was very genuine and it was super cool. What are you laughing at?
Shout out to Jessica Smith. Oliver can fall off the ledge. Love that. I agree. When he
No,
was
but
like,
the guy's been through a lot, though.
He has,
like
yes.
everyone else, they're all pro murderers.
What has
like,
he been
sorry,
through?
That's true.
He saw a guy shoot himself in the head, and it was because of them, because of something they did. Everyone
easy
else
at
is just
this
numb
point.
to it now,
Yeah.
Like,
But he did. A lot of
is-
people mentioned this in our comments from last week's video. He's the one that begged them
That's what I
to
was
be a
about to-
part of
yeah.
it. He's the one. And now, obviously, when there's a group here and you're here, especially
Yeah.
when your significant other is involved, you want to, like, no matter how many times Connor warned him, he was never not going to be interested. But it is like he warned you how bad it was,
Right.
And now that, not to take away from the trauma that he obviously just experienced, this is like within days at this point, but it's like you asked for it.
It's
Right.
fine to have that trauma because he is new to it. He's never seen any, like, I get that. But for you to start retracting everything that you've done to get yourself to this point, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to need you to have some kind of balance. Yeah, you can lose it for a little bit, but now you're in the hospital and you're going a little cuckoo. And I'm going to need you to reel it back in because
Yeah,
you're part of the reason we're
totally.
in this mess.
I mean, it's nice that he's going to see Simon. Like,
It is
I,
super sweet.
I don't think that was a bad thing that he went to do that because obviously he was involved. They know he's a friend. Just because you go,
Right.
or just because Oliver goes to see him anyway doesn't like incriminate him in some way. But so it's like I like that he's showing that they all need to like have some humanity, but it's like get it together a little bit.
Yeah, and he
Not,
went a
but
little
yeah.
far. I mean, even before he went to the hospital, he was like hacking the mainframe of the hospital, like
yeah.
literally like religiously looking at the numbers of like his kidneys and,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
But I
And
think it's
like,
because
dude,
he feels responsible,
Yeah.
or like he feels partially responsible,
kinda
and
is.
Well,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, he is.
and he had every opportunity to be like, no, this is a terrible, terrible, terrible
Right.
idea. But he was one of the ones pushing it. He was one of the ones like, oh, okay, sure, I mean, he wasn't
Yeah.
just like sure. But
Well, no, I get him feeling
eventually-
connected. I just feel like he it became an obsession almost
Yeah.
for him, and maybe because it's like it was part of his first like heist thing.
His first murder.
Yeah. it was-
Danielle says in the chat room when he tried to snap at Annalise.
Oh,
like
loved that.
good,
Yeah.
like that was the
She shut
moment where
that
you
down.
knew he was almost losing
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
you really just tried to comfort me, and I had nothing to do with this.
Right.
Yeah.
She snapped back so quick. She didn't even smile. Like she got into the elevator. Like
right.
Good, as she
Just, like,
should. This is like the first time I've
Right.
actually like been on Annalise's side. It's like she cut you all out, so no more of this crap would happen. Now she's coming back to clean it all up, and you guys
Yeah.
are still yelling at her and saying it's her fault for everything.
Totally.
No, Mama Bear is not in fault for this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She just cleans up everything.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about why she does that a little bit. Because when she went to go see Dr. Isaac, like she kind of had a breakthrough. Apparently, that she said that she does help all these people, like to help herself.
Yeah, to save
Still a
herself.
little confusing though.
Well, even when she was talking to Bonnie, she's like, I do this so I don't feel so dead inside all of the time.
Right.
But obviously, and I understand that, but also there's a connection. There's a connection to Wes obviously being involved with them. There is a connection just because they killed her husband, and it's more than that. Like, I don't think she would do this for just like a random group of students, like as far as go as far as she has with them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it kind of makes total sense. That's
yeah.
I don't know why it's such a big mystery of why she's doing all of this. It's like she literally said it because it makes her feel better and she cares about them.
But also, how do you say no after you've
Right.
been through all of this together? How do you say no to helping them when this happens now? You can't just really cut it off. You can't fully cut off your emotions to
Right.
all of these people just like that or with a letter. Like, that doesn't happen.
And it's
Totally.
Wes's baby. Obviously, she has a
So-
major connection to Wes.
I thought,
Yeah.
I
Grandbaby.
thought that's why she
Yeah.
was going to say she was connected, not necessarily
Me
to
too.
save herself. I thought she was going to say because, you know, I felt responsible for Wes and this is Wes' baby,
Right.
etc. I don't see how she's saving herself with this group, and you guys know that I'm Team Annalise. Like, they've been an anchor to her since she's met them. Like,
Yeah.
she was so strong and powerful when we were introduced to them.
Yeah.
She picked the 5, blah, blah, blah. And since then, they've just been dragging her down.
Yeah.
So I don't get how they're saving her.
No, I don't either. I think it makes her feel good to do good things for other people, but they're definitely, I mean, they haven't done her any favors career-wise.
Yeah.
Personal-wise, she only turned into an even worse alcoholic. Her husband's been killed. Her long-lost child of sorts has now been killed. It's like, they're definitely not doing
Yeah,
her
they're
any
definitely
favors,
a
but
negative influence.
I think I ultimately think it's the connection of Wes and just the fact that all that she went through with her baby, and then she literally pulled the baby out of Laurel,
Right.
obviously.
But also, I think they've sort of become her family. I mean, she got that basically all taken away. She lost her child and obviously Sam.
Yeah.
Frank and Bonnie were kind of there, and then they obviously Frank's back, and maybe Bonnie's coming back. But
yeah.
Bonnie
you
is
know,
back, yeah.
yeah, I guess we're
Bonnie's
all
back.
coming back to Mama Bear, but I think that's like what she lives for. Before, when we saw her just like working and kicking ass was great, but I don't think she really had anybody. You know, even though she was like married to Sam, like their relationship wasn't great. Like,
Well, he was like
yeah,
playing in the co-ed.
Yeah.
That's what
exactly.
Ty just said. She's basically using them to fill that void, which I think she mentioned
Yeah.
tonight. And now that I can understand, like they came into your life and they're all these vibrant characters, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want them to be. I never, you know, you start remembering how you never had kids and you baby them,
Right.
and now she has an attachment to them, which is normal. I feel for someone in her role, which is why she can't let go. So I get it.
Yeah, and I think she would bring up Wes probably in like 3 more years of therapy. But I think she's like
Right.
skidding around the point. But I think eventually it would get to that.
Three?
That
You think
he's
it's,
the
think it's gonna take 3 years?
maybe 5 even.
Where are
Yeah.
you from, Nadine?
Where am I from? I'm from upstate New York. Why?
Nothing. We're just having a conversation here.
The accent.
Is there an accent? There's not an accent.
Someone said they liked your voice.
Thank you.
I told
very
them I would
much.
get them answers.
Thank you very much.
Have every
The
corner
important
of-
things happening.
We have all the corners of the United States covered.
Yeah, I think we are.
But the flashbacks of Wes are killing me. Though,
yeah,
though,
we just
like,
got some West
majorly.
back in this episode. A bunch
didn't
of
like
different
it.
flashbacks.
Why?
It's you know, because if I'm gonna if I'm still gonna be seeing Wes, I want it to be new stuff. I'm tired of seeing the same flashbacks, and I understand it's like a way for us to mourn his death.
Well, yeah, it was
Yeah.
the quick scene with him, and I think it's
Annalise.
Maggie. When
Maggie.
there's like Maggie, yeah,
The
it was
soccer,
the soccer
her
ball.
showing up at his door,
Yeah.
her like talking to him, asking him to move in. Which as soon as they showed that in the flashback, I was like, that was such a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
But
it's-
whatever, neither here nor
Yeah.
there.
I can't believe he's already has like a drawer full of baby clothes.
I know.
He got really
Very
excited.
prepared. Very prepared.
No,
That
Laurel
was
did that.
no, Laurel.
She
Yeah,
got
Laurel
excited.
did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But his stuff is still in there. It's like going in there, you had to show those
Yeah.
flashbacks because it's all triggers. And that was
Yeah.
the first time she's been back in there.
Right.
So of course she's going to think that.
No, Laurel's been living there.
No, Annalise.
Oh, and Elise.
Yeah,
okay.
when the flashback started. Yeah.
Got it. I don't know. And she lifted up that onesie, and I was like, that is way too big for a newborn. But whatever. Why do y'all think though that she was? So they're talking about Annalise. Whole episode's trying to get her out, but trying
Right,
to keep her in. Why do you think Laurel didn't want Frank to know? I thought whenever Frank accidentally hit her that she was going to be angry. I didn't think that she would feel bad for him. I mean, obviously she knows it's an accident, but that shocked me whenever she was telling Michaela it's not because of
Right.
anything
Because-
else. It's because Frank hit me.
Remember he went through his whole meltdown about being a baby daddy?
No, I know, but I still thought she was going to be angry. I
She
didn't
feels
think
bad for him. She still has feelings for Frank. She just fell in love with Wes and had his baby.
Yeah.
And if it was Frank's baby, then, you know, things would be different. But I think that she still has this sense of loving for him.
Yeah.
So when he had that breakdown and, you know, he was trying to get his life together and he was just begging on the floor like a dog.
Yeah, I mean,
that was pretty dramatic.
Frank got like real low. I mean, a few episodes back, like there was a flashback in it this episode when he almost killed himself.
Yeah.
So
But
I think
it's because they were fighting, and
Right.
she was like, "This is so dumb." He and Connor were fighting. I forget what they were fighting over
Yeah.
at this point. That's why I thought she was gonna be mad because he was doing something so dumb, and then hit her, and obviously made all of this happen. But I guess that's why I was like, "Wait, why haven't you said this to the
Right.
rest of the people?" Because everyone's like, "Is it drugs? Is it this? Is it this?" And
Well, maybe that shows the maturity part and that she shouldn't actually be
Right.
locked up and there isn't something crazy going on with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe that just
Well,
shows that she's a little sane.
And also, I feel like obviously it was an accident.
Yeah,
Like no
of
one
course.
meant to do that, but I think it was equally on Laurel because she like got up in that fight. Like,
well, she did.
if you're pregnant, like
yeah.
you kind of have to keep a bubble around yourself. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do if they start tearing each other's heads off?
Yeah,
I
they're
don't,
mean-
I
brawling.
don't know. Either way, I was surprised. But whenever Michaela just spilled all of the beans, he took it pretty well.
Yeah, what
Michaela
the
can't
heck,
never
Michaela?
hold
Oh,
anything
yeah.
in.
She
She's-
annoys
yeah.
me so much sometimes.
gossip,
and then she
for
blames
sure.
everyone else for all the problems in her life. And it's
Yeah.
her own fault.
Did y'all
Always.
see her crying in Tegan, like after she ambushed Tegan? I mean, she
Yeah.
wasn't literally crying, but she was whining, and I wanted her to shut up.
Because she
Yeah.
wanted to find another Annalise and she found it and then she
Right.
messed it up and this woman isn't coming back to her like Annalise does.
Like
So
you,
it's like,
you knew what was gonna happen. You
Yeah.
clearly knew, and now you're trying to go sit down.
Yeah.
took her purse and the key card and what do you think is going to
Yeah.
happen?
Out of her
Yeah.
what?
Were y'all surprised that Tegan played it straight with Nate?
No.
With Nate, I don't know.
I wasn't.
Whenever
She
she
was
was
saying-
like, "What are you talking
Oh,
about?"
right.
Essentially protecting Michaela, but also not
Yeah.
protecting Michaela. It's not why she was doing it.
Yeah.
But I was no, I wasn't surprised. I guess
I wasn't surprised because it's who she is.
Yeah, but then at the end, whenever Michaela did ambush her, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How could you ever be here?" Because I love her line when she's like, "Wow, you really think you're important," or whatever she
Yeah.
said. And it just, I mean, she's the lawyer for them, the head lawyer for them, whatever, for Antares. So it's like she clearly knows all the crap that
Yeah.
they've done.
Right.
So, and it is such a stupid thing, and it just shows that they're like so immature in certain ways because how could they have thought that this was gonna work?
It's
They're
not
so
even
stupid.
Yeah.
It's not
a
even
very
all
bad
of
point.
them. It's like if Michaela has this thing going on with Tegan because of her mommy issues, which someone brought up in the chat again, it's like, why do you think that you can play me and still get my loyalty and still be on my side? Like, that's regardless of what you've been through, murder or not a murder, you cannot cross me
Yeah.
and think we're still going to be good. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's because she used to that Annalise mentality of things
Right.
happening and then mama coming back kind of. in
And
a sense.
forgiving
I
you,
think-
yeah.
I think that's exactly what it is. And she doesn't know how to deal with that rejection.
Totally,
Of like
totally.
someone who's a mentor to her.
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand why she felt bad because of Tegan missing the IPO announcement, or how she could think that was, she was involved in that in some way. But I'm also like, you are officially out of the loop. It's not
Yeah.
any of your business to know this. And I'm like, what are all of these people going to do for jobs now? Obviously, we have Connor and Asher working with Annalise, but I don't think she's going to employ all of them. Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, Laurel's not going to be working for a while.
And I'm pretty sure Tegan's only in the position that she's in for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Like you not seeing her has nothing to do with what happened. It's the
Right.
fact that there was just a big scandal at the firm, and I need to not be on TV announcing
Right.
Antares going public.
And it's none of your
Right.
business, Michaela.
Right.
Also, like,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Period.
You messed up. You're stupid. End of
Exactly.
story.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tegan's just really smart. She like wants to fly under the radar. Obviously, things are very hot right now, and so she kind of has to like watch her own ass. At the same time, I don't think she's a vengeful person, so she's not like going after people to like throw at them under the bus. She's just like, no, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna make sure like all my ducks are in a row. Like, and Michaela, really, which is too bad because I feel like she has shown so many times like where she has that boss mentality, like a mini Annalise.
yeah.
But this was like definitely a step in the wrong direction. Like, and Tegan even called her out on that. She's like, "You are smarter than this. Like, what the
Yeah.
F are you doing?"
Well, in public to do
Exactly,
that,
like,
like now
in-
could have potentially been seen together.
Right.
I can't get over still. This is a telecommunications company. They're literally probably listening to every single thing. So it's just like, literally be smarter than that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it's her own fault. She knew this was all a possibility whenever she said yes.
Totally.
But she was
But,
trying
yeah.
to do it for her friends.
Just because, like, she just went to Annalise and she's like, trust me more. Like, I can totally handle it. Like, you
Yeah.
should be including me on the plans. It's like, well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Annalise is the only one who understands that George. I want to call him Jorge. Is his name
Yeah,
Jorge?
Jorge, yeah.
Joking. Annalise is the only one that notices that Jorge could literally be listening and watching it on everyone, and she's so calm about it.
Yeah.
But even when she sent Michaela to take care of Laurel,
Right.
and Michaela wanted those answers, and there Annalise finally laid it out. She's like, okay, you're a grown up. I'm going to give it to you. And Michaela still runs with it awkwardly. It's like, okay, you guys have grown up, but I still can't treat you like adults because you're still stupid.
Yeah.
Which made me think, why do you think, I mean, granted, Annalise had her reasons, and I thought that it was very level-headed of her to try to keep Laurel in there, but how do you guys feel about that?
I thought it was smart. I thought it was the best thing to do just because look at what they're coming directly off of. They're coming directly off of them hacking this major law firm. She has a gun with her. I mean, it makes sense. Like, and her baby just got taken away. You're going to do probably the craziest stuff you've ever been willing to do when a loved one gets killed,
Right.
which obviously she was doing, and if someone tries to take your child away.
Totally.
So it's kind of, I agree with it in the sense of, I think that she was doing the right thing, but I know it had to come to an end at some point because, yeah, staying in a room by yourself or mainly by yourself
Would drive you
for sure
crazy.
drive you
Yeah,
crazy.
Of
definitely cabin fever for sure.
And they have the ability, I mean, Frank's there with her. We see him with a sleeping bag or whatever. They have the ability to make sure she doesn't do anything, but it's still like, I mean, she's a wily little cat, little fox, minx, whatever it is. So she's gonna, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and Annalise doesn't even know about, like, the whole heist plan that went down. She, like, keeps calling it, like, you guys were at that party. It's like, no.
She doesn't know?
She knows.
I think she knows somewhat, but she doesn't know all the details that, like, Laurel masterminded this for months, like,
Yeah.
with Michaela being a spy and, like,
Well, she doesn't
All
know
that,
the details.
yeah.
She knows the bigger picture because she
Right,
found the
right.
documents in Wes's
Right.
apartment, but she definitely doesn't know.
she doesn't know, like, how in depth that they went. Like,
How
that
hard they
plan
were
was,
going.
like, a bank heist.
Like,
almost.
I don't understand how they think that they can actually get away with,
Right.
like, murder in the sense that you've gotten away with it, but there's been so many layers of cover-up that I think by the end of whatever season this show goes to, it's all going to blow up.
You think
I
they're
mean,
all gonna end up
every
in jail?
murder, every
Everybody's
something is going to blow up in their face. This is all just these layers of cover. It's all going to melt down.
Frank feels pretty invincible with his murder, as he proudly watched the car crash and kept the phone like it was nothing. Like, dude,
No one cares that he
Yeah,
kills.
also, who doesn't have a password on their phone, right? Like, how is he downloading apps and stuff?
he
And-
probably broke into it.
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
he's-
sure.
Yeah.
But and,
he's
like, he's-
crafty enough, but still.
It's an Antares phone, but I'm sure the CEO of Antares probably has some sort of tracker on that. Well, maybe not,
Right.
because they definitely would have found it by this point.
He said it was like a
Untraceable.
Yeah.
But
But how
I mean,
would- how-
surely
why
they're
would you
gonna
know
have
that?
a way to do it. But like that's the other twist. So we see what's his face, DA. Why can't I think of his name right
Denver.
now? Denver meet in the car with Jorge.
Right. I'm
And,
glad
oh,
that that
we
was
can't
finally
find him.
confirmed that he is, like, I mean, we all knew, but, like.
Yeah. But it's like, and then it's the mom calling. I don't know. It's just the craziest thing. But also, what a genius way to get rid of a body. Let me just throw that out there. And it is. I was like,
You're
wow,
learning
they
how
are
to get away with murder,
They're never
April.
gonna find that. Well, because the whole time I kept
no.
The whole time I kept
You want to come over here?
I'm like, what is he gonna do? He's done all these other methods. He's done like a fake car crash. He's burned. Like he's done all
Yeah.
these other things. I'm like, what is he gonna do? So that was
You
just
kind of have
like,
to give up car, though. So it's not the cheapest way to dispose of a body.
But is it in the guy's car? Yeah, true, I guess. But he has a suitcase of money, so.
Yeah,
True.
but can we go back to Frank just killing everyone and everyone being okay with it? Like, what did you say
I'm
when we
down.
were watching it? You're like, oh, Frank being Frank.
Classic
He's
Frank.
Classic
he's
Frank.
He's a murderer.
Like, they just killed him. They're like, oh, Frank, really? Like,
But-
okay.
Oh, Frank.
Here's the thing. So they aren't mad at him for killing. They're mad at him for keeping the phone.
Keeping-
You still
Yeah.
got the phone?
What?
You still got the phone? Not, oh my gosh, you just killed someone else and you're supposed to be going to law school.
Snap that
You
guy's
still-
neck.
For no reason. For literally talking
Jealous-
smack about
jealousy.
Laurel.
Yeah, I'm-
You don't know her. All right, okay.
I am a
Smart.
little concerned why Laurel isn't, like, more upset about it. I mean, last episode she was, like, a little
She's got a lot going
Huge,
on.
but still, it's like, well, she probably care about that
Murder's
a
the
little bit
last
more.
thing she's caring about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she also doesn't know about the voicemail yet, though.
She found out
Right.
about
Well,
it. She
now
played it 50
does.
times.
Now she does. She put it. Yeah, she was on that
when she
on
answered her
repeat.
mom's call.
Oh, yeah.
And she still didn't freak out about that. So, I mean, okay, granted, we don't really want her mom being introduced, but I'm pretty sure her mom ties into Kristoff and Dominic, which is the only reason she's coming. Because why is mom calling Dominic? I know dad doesn't know that mom's calling Dominic, so the phone must really be, what do you call those safe phones?
A burner.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. I know.
You said that way too quick.
I watch a lot of Dateline.
A burner.
The burner didn't get me. It was the or whatever. How she tried to brush it off, like, oh my god.
Or something else.
All right. You know who to call.
Yeah,
You
Amy
know.
watches this show to take notes on killing people.
Basically,
Yeah.
pretty much. But I wonder how. Okay, so they didn't want to tell Laurel about the voicemail. I'm sorry, because they were afraid that she was gonna go nuts. But then they're like, "Oh no, we do need to ask her because she can connect the dots." I don't think Laurel is gonna have any idea of why that voicemail is on his phone. Oh, and I wanted to read this too. It's a comment from last week. Let me pull it up. Air Jam in our comments said, regarding Wes and Dominic, a lot of people are thinking that Dominic had the voicemail from Wes because he hacked his phone. So they actually don't know each other. And then Juan Carlos says, like y'all said, I like that. Like y'all said, her dad owns a telecommunications business. Maybe he got the voicemail off of someone's phone. So everyone's kind of or majority of our comments from last week, people were saying that they didn't think it was a real voicemail. They thought it was for something. But
That's
then
a
I'm like,
twist.
oh, that throws in
Yeah.
a whole other thing. We've already just been wondering about this for so long.
That's
now,
a whole other line to go down. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, it's like, either
But-
way,
That's a lot. I mean, because even in the comments, like, you know, this is not like they keep saying that it's possible that Wes is alive. That just brings in a lot of confusion. And honestly, I'm still trying to get through the mess with Annalise
yeah.
to even bring Wes back from the dead. What we gonna do with Wes? Like, he's like,
Right. Right.
For
Well,
a
especially
second, I thought that was going to be him on the phone. I swear. When she picked it up, I was like, oh my God. It's
oh, that would have
Yeah.
got
Oh,
me.
you
Now
thought-
that would have
no.
made my night. I
Wes
would
coming
have.
back to life.
I would have been so hyped.
I just for a second, I was like,
It's Wes.
no.
Well, no, I love Wes. I liked that we got like pieces of him back in this episode. I do not want him to come back from the dead, though. I just kind of got. I'm over Wes at this point. He was like one of my favorite characters, but
Yeah.
at this point, like you were
Yeah,
saying
you're right.
earlier, I don't want this to be like the Laurel show.
Yeah.
Like it should be about all of them and like mainly like Annalise being a badass.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's when the show's best.
Yeah.
And every time we go sort of on these like side tangents, like Laurel's now it's her parents and stuff, it's gonna be like a very family affair.
Yeah.
For hopefully just like one episode. But whenever they go like too deep into those directions, I feel like it kind of spins its wheels a little bit.
Yeah, we don't get the answers that we're actually looking for. Obviously,
Right.
they don't want to give us too many answers, but it's like, it makes you forget about this thing so that whenever it comes back up 6 episodes
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, that happened. And so I definitely like it when it's a little more focused, but hopefully they'll get there.
They gave us the answer of Bonnie not really being in love with Annalise. Which
Oh,
I
I
don't
was like,
believe that though.
You don't-
I'm still no. There
think
is-
she's in love with
yeah,
her?
there's still something deep there. And
Well,
like
no,
she
I
was,
know. I think she loves her. I don't think she's in love
I
with
think
her.
she's obsessed with her. I think it's an obsession love where
Yeah.
it's you would do anything. If Annalise wants to be romantic with you, you would. If she doesn't, you would. It's whatever that
I
entails.
agree.
Whatever you want from me, I'm yours kind of, which is
Only
deeper than being in love with someone, I think.
Only because when Bonnie first admitted, Annalise, I'm in love with you, it was so passionate that it was
Yeah.
disgusting. It was truly disgusting.
Yeah.
And tonight, granted, I felt some relief when she said I'm not in love with you, but I feel like you know how you try to fill people out, you fill the room to see what your response is going to be. So
Yeah.
when she brought up why were you so mad that I said I was in love with you, she understood that if you went back there, Annalise was walking out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she had to play it in a way to keep Annalise there to have this
Yeah.
cry fest of a conversation where she's
Right.
being petty about
She
the envelope.
played it cool.
It's like, I don't love
Like-
you. What are you talking about? What?
Yeah,
You're
it's-
crazy.
Are you kidding? We have more than a husband, wife, girlfriend relationship.
Oh, I hated that. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm so happy that they're not gonna go there because
Ugh.
it would just be too much. But I for
It is
sure
really
agree.
deep.
Bonnie has a very strange obsession, but they had good moments tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know, the whole apology thing had to happen because Annalise does
They were
need
in the
Bonnie.
outs, yeah.
But I also could totally imagine Annalise, like, after this whole thing is over and after Bonnie's helped him, being like,
Here's another
Yeah.
envelope.
like,
That's
no.
exactly what I think is going to happen. It's the most dysfunctional relationship in this entire show, I think, is the relationship between the two of them.
Right.
And as soon as Bonnie opened up the door, I was like, here we go again. And
Yeah.
she's going to cry, and then it's going to go back because the next day, immediately, Bonnie went to Denver's office, you know, and got that recording. And it's just back,
Smart, though.
back to the same old stuff.
Yeah,
And Annalise
sort
is
of.
in
When she was
charge,
playing
you
the
know?
recording, though, it seemed like it just incriminated her.
Her,
Yeah.
yeah. Because all he said was
it was
why.
So
exactly. It's like
I
not
wanted
that
more.
bad. Yeah.
But there you go. She's willing to do whatever she
Right.
possibly can,
Exactly.
including essentially ruining her career. To
Right.
help
Her
Annalise.
life.
Yeah.
More than just her career. Can we talk about how petty she is? Okay, wait.
You were just saying that you were like a fan of Bonnie's.
No,
episode.
No.
Fashion.
I was a fan of the
Fashion.
blue,
Oh,
the
the blue
royal
suit.
blue
That
looked good on
pantsuit.
her, yeah.
Period. I hated her hair. April pointed out that she got a new haircut. I didn't think that it was cute.
Haircut Bonnie.
It was not. I didn't. It was doing something weird. Like I just finished surfing and my hair is air drying. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. How petty she was when Frank told Annalise to go to Bonnie and apologize. He was like, you know, she just wants an apology because you fired her with the letter. And I'm like, are you seriously hanging on to that? Is that really why you're so mad at me?
That's why. That is why she's so mad at Annalise.
She's hot and
because
cold
Annalise
like that.
fired
Yeah.
her with a letter. Annalise has
a
all
little
of this
petty.
reason to be mad
upset
at
at
Bonnie.
over the fire me over. Thank goodness you fired me over. Like what?
It wasn't really just, I don't think, the letter. I think it's the rejection. Just
Right.
that
Yeah.
you are met here. This is all that you're worth. You're
Yeah.
just like the interns.
Right.
You're
She
can't
nothing.
handle it.
She lost it. She couldn't.
And then
is
her
like
with
the interns.
Frank and her being like, oh, you were shacking up in the guest room while I was paying to keep this roof over your head. I was like, okay, Mom. But
Still, that's kind of not
it
cool
is,
for a
but
house guest
they
to be
weren't,
like.
They weren't. She and Frank weren't hooking up like
Yeah.
they did that one time in the hotel last season. But then, I mean, maybe
I feel
she
like
clearly
they did.
thought
I feel like
something
they
else
hooked
was
up
gonna happen.
at Bonnie's house.
They
Who?
haven't been though.
Frank and
Frank and Bonnie.
Yeah, but it's
No.
been dead for a while,
Frank
though.
and Laurel.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, whatever. But I'm not saying that's the best thing, but she clearly thought that something else was going to happen between the two of them. Otherwise,
Frank.
she wouldn't have been so dang.
Right. Well, I mean,
salty.
she's also been like rejected a lot. Like the thing with Asher didn't work out. Obviously,
Stop being
she
so
slept
crazy.
with Frank. Yeah. I mean, but you look at where she came from. Like her
Yeah.
past is troubled, to say the
Yeah.
least. And so like she is a very damaged person. And when she met Annalise like back in the day, Annalise like basically saved her and like made her into like a human,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I know I'm a Bonnie hater, but
Same.
Khalid pointed out one of her good lines tonight. So when she was talking to Frank and she was like, well, Wes died, so you just slipped right back in to fill the hole.
Right.
I felt like that was a really strong read. Kudos to Bonnie for like being able to just snap back like that, because it's true.
Yeah.
Like when Annalise had Wes, it was like, okay, Frank, you get on my nerves, bye.
Yeah.
And now that he's gone, it's kind of like, oh, I need my son back. Where are
Well,
you?
she needs someone to like fix stuff for her.
True.
She just
To
does
murder
it without-
people for her.
The reality is she only went to Bonnie because she wanted to help Laura. Bonnie, if
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
for them, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that kind of sounds really harsh.
But it's true though. I don't think Annalise would have ever gone to talk to Bonnie if she didn't need her for something.
Yeah. And can we get into, so when we were watching it and her and Bonnie were talking, Annalise was saying something about putting your fingers down my throat, and then you
Oh,
were saying
yeah,
because she was
yeah.
drunk, but I feel like Annalise tried to kill herself. Do you think that was after she lost her baby? Like, what is that scenario?
So I was thinking
I
that
can't
she
remember.
was just like so drunk that she, obviously people like choke on their vomit all the time. That's what I was thinking. But what you said, and then Bonnie saw her and made her puke. What you said makes sense. More so even that she was like trying to commit suicide. It would be like a twist because we've never heard anything about that before.
Right.
But I mean, I could imagine because it has to have been like after a dark moment like that.
Yeah, I forget what
Right.
it was that. Yeah, I forget what
I can't-
transpired it,
I
but
can't
something
remember.
dark happened.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. But,
But
I
see,
mean,
like, again, that's like their relationship is complicated. I mean, it was super corny of Bonnie saying it like that, but it is. I mean, she essentially like saved her life.
But
It
then
sounds like.
I just keep going back to, okay, what really like good stuff has Bonnie done for Annalise? Bonnie has saved her life potentially, whether it was suicide or from whatever, for whatever reason. Bonnie saved her life. Bonnie was also in love with her husband and like made out with him. Bonnie also killed
Right, but
someone in her
he
basement.
I feel like that's more on Sam. Like he was a master manipulator,
Oh
like
yeah, but she
psychologist.
was in love with him, and even though Annalise was her best friend, Annalise,
Right.
she loves Annalise so much too. I'm not saying that she wasn't manipulated, but she still like let herself go there.
Let herself be
She just-
brainwashed. Yeah.
Exactly. She just hasn't done much for Annalise in the sense of I'm like,
I
what?
disagree. I mean, obviously we haven't seen everything that she's done, but she's been like a loyal like employee for probably decades. Like and being a lawyer is not easy work. Like it's 24/7 pretty much, depending on the
Yeah.
case. So like she's done a ton of that like over the years. Like she's also killed some people. I don't think Rebecca was her
killed for-
first.
I
Why?
definitely don't think Rebecca was
Yeah.
her first. She killed her with a plastic bag over her head.
Yeah.
Like, holy smokes.
Why are we admiring Bonnie right now?
I don't know.
Why
I'm not.
Yeah, it's not
They're
the
just
Bonnie
like
show
the
either.
rebuttal.
Well, yeah. So what do you? While we're on Bonnie, we can wrap it up there because I think she's next on the block to be in danger. Denver was talking to Laurel's dad, and he's like, "We gotta."
You know what
we
was
gotta
pretty
kill Bonnie."
awesome? It was really awesome that she went in there trying to fish for something and all he said was why, which we talked about.
Right.
Not even realizing that he probably was up on game like, oh, this little Annalise Mo is trying to get me.
Right.
And he literally went straight to Jorge and was like, she X
Yeah.
on an X and X what's that saying? X
Ixnay and then
On the
Y'all know what
On
I'm
the
saying.
Bonnie.
Yeah, we got
We
you.
tried.
Bonnie!
I'm actually surprised that Denver was like that savvy to be like, "This is a trap."
Yeah.
Too, because obviously Bonnie did something really good for him.
Right.
Oh, but maybe
That's the red flag.
maybe he went to Jorge because I don't think he knew that Bonnie knew about all of that stuff being on Simon's computer. So then it's kind of like, wait, how would she know to even look at all of this?
Ooh.
And if she
Ooh,
does,
yeah.
ooh.
And just the fact that she has the information in general.
yeah.
Like, even if she erased it for him, even if she did whatever, it's still a problem that she knows that it happened.
Right.
But I think that I don't think that she wasn't unsatisfied with what she got, or because she went in there and she was talking really fast with him too. She
Yeah.
wasn't really giving him time to speak. She didn't pause and let him really answer, and then she left saying "you're welcome" and just walked out.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't think she was actually fishing for more stuff, and then she went back and listened to the tape and kind of seemed satisfied with it. So
Well,
I
because
don't know.
She just wanted him essentially to admit that that was a true thing.
Right.
Like, hey, I found the stuff directly linking Antares to your campaign funds, but don't worry, I got rid of it. So he didn't say, what? That's not true.
But couldn't she have tried to
whatever.
pull
Yeah.
for more stuff though? She
But
really
she knew
went
she
quick.
wasn't
It would have
Yeah.
because it would have
And
went. It would have been too,
too
obvious.
obvious, yeah.
But I think her covering his behind more than once, although he's been evil to her, was the red flag for him. It's like, okay, because this is the second time that you're saying you're welcome. I didn't ask you to do any of that. I actually have never had conversations about either of this with you. So what point are you trying to prove? The only thing that you're showing me is that you're really trying to win it over with me, and that scares me because why? Why are you trying to get close to
Yeah.
me?
Right.
She already has all of this other dirt on him. So we know she's going to keep her job. And I know, because he had that moment at the beginning where he's like, oh, I thought you were done with them because of the Asher stuff. And so she did it or in that way. Obviously, she did it for information, but she poised it in that way to be like, oh, by the way, I'm not on them. I'm fully with you. But it was just, he's smarter than that.
Yeah. Well, and also I think he probably, if he had that dirt on him, he probably has like a lot of other skeletons in the closet. So
Yeah.
if he's like, if she can find this super easily, she's just digging around for stuff. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I know we're about to jump into predictions, but can I just say how disappointed I am in Jorge for not knowing that Dominic's dead?
Yeah, like
Right.
he hasn't answered his phone for days.
You have no suspicion, like, so this is just what Dominic does. Like, you're not going to go find him. Like,
Maybe he does. Maybe this is all just a ruse. Maybe it's something that's going to come out. There's always something.
I don't know.
I don't
Even if he
Dominic-
doesn't know that he's dead, like your main man for however long hasn't answered his phone
Right.
in days, you clearly know something's up.
Yeah.
So why is it still like?
Plus, I feel like Dominic is afraid of Laurel's dad. Like, how he was talking about him to Laurel on the phone, like before everything went down. seemed like he would never like miss a call ever.
Well, if you're willing to do the stuff that Jorge's done to his daughter, imagine what
Yeah.
he would be willing to do to anyone else who wronged
True.
him. So, I mean, of course, he's always, even if a lot of times the person that should be the most scared is the person that's closest to the head. So, I mean, I'm sure he was not the biggest fan of him.
Totally.
But-
Well, yeah, let's make some predictions then.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
I guess my only prediction is that Nate has the hard drive.
Oh, that's pretty good. Come back to me.
Laurel is not going to get custody.
Ooh, whoa.
That's not fun.
Too easy.
Yeah,
it's so easy,
I
all
like
that.
that. I like that. Maybe mom comes in and pulls rank.
Mom makes it worse. Mom looks like a
Ooh.
psycho in the stand, and they're like, "You're not backing her up."
Yeah,
Laura-
no, I like that.
Laurel's mom and Wes had a connection. Some kind of connection. And that's all I got.
Really?
He's
What
gonna
a-
leave us
I like
at that.
that.
That's
Okay.
a deep
That's
one.
all I got. I can't figure out
Simmer
why.
on that. Well, yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see next week. Until then, where can the people find you guys?
Rob M says, "Who has the hard drive?" Maggie. Let's not bring Maggie back.
Yeah.
Maggie.
No, they've been
No.
talking
I
about
vetoed
Maggie
that.
the
I
whole
vetoed
show.
that.
Well, 'cause they
Bonnie's
showed her
secret
in that
love
flashback.
child with her
Oh,
dad.
no.
Maggie, never again. Y'all
No
can
good.
find me
Christ.
everywhere at April Wissenhant.
You can follow, I don't want to leave. You can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
You can find me at Nadine DP in the number 3.
You guys can find me at Hey John Blake. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.